"My lady," he answered, "I am not a Dorian, but an Achaean." So without taking heed of the omen, he tried to do as he pleased and was, as I have said, then again cast out together with his Lacedaemonians. As for the rest, the Athenians imprisoned them under sentence of death. Among the prisoners was Timesitheus the Delphian, whose achievements of strength and courage were quite formidable. These men, then, were bound and put to death. After that the Athenians sent to bring back Cleisthenes and the 700 households banished by Cleomenes. Then, desiring to make an alliance with the Persians, they dispatched envoys to Sardis, for they knew that they had provoked the Lacedaemonians and Cleomenes to war. When the envoys came to Sardis and spoke as they had been bidden, Artaphernes, son of Hystaspes, viceroy of Sardis, asked them, "What men are you, and where do you live, who desire alliance with the Persians?" When he had received the information he wanted from the envoys, he gave them an answer the substance of which was, that if the Athenians gave King Darius earth and water, then he would make an alliance with them; but if not, his command was that they should depart. The envoys consulted together, and in their desire to make the alliance they consented to give what was asked. They then returned to their own country and were there greatly blamed for what they had done. Cleomenes, however, fully aware that the Athenians had done him wrong in word and deed, mustered an army from the whole of the Peloponnesus. He did not declare the purpose for which he mustered it, namely, to avenge himself on the Athenian people and set up Isagoras, who had come with him out of the Acropolis, as tyrant. Cleomenes broke in as far as Eleusis with a great host, and the Boeotians, by a concerted plan, took Oinoi and Hisye, districts on the borders of Attica, while the Chalcidians attacked on another side and raided lands in Attica. The Athenians, who were now caught in a ring of foes, decided to oppose the Spartans at Eleusis and to deal with the Boeotians and Chalcidians later. When the armies were about to join battle, the Corinthians, coming to the conclusion that they were acting wrongly, changed their minds and departed. Later Demaratus, son of Ariston, the other king of Sparta, did likewise, despite the fact that he had come with Cleomenes from Lacedaemon in joint command of the army, and had not till now been at variance with him. As a result of this dissension, a law was made at Sparta that when an army was dispatched, both kings would not be permitted to go with it. Until that time they had both gone together. But now one of the kings was released from service, and one of the sons of Tyndarus, too, could be left at home. Before that time, both of these also were asked to give aid and went with the army. So now at Eleusis, when the rest of the allies saw that the Lacedaemonian kings were not of one mind, and that the Corinthians had left their host, they too went off. This was the fourth time that Dorians had come into Attica. They had come twice as invaders in war and twice as helpers of the Athenian people. The first time was when they planted a settlement at Megara. This expedition may rightly be said to have been in the reign of Codrus. The second and third when they set out from Sparta to drive out the sons of Pisistratus. And the fourth was now, when Cleomenes broke in as far as Eleusis with his following of Peloponnesians. This was accordingly the fourth Dorian invasion of Athens. When this force then had been ingloriously scattered, the Athenians first marched against the Chalcidians to punish them. The Boeotians came to the Euripus to help the Chalcidians, and as soon as the Athenians saw these allies, they resolved to attack the Boeotians before the Chalcidians. When they met the Boeotians in battle, they won a great victory, slaying very many and taking 700 of them prisoner. On that same day the Athenians crossed to Euboea, where they met the Chalcidians too in battle, and after overcoming them as well, they left 4,000 tenant farmers on the lands of the horse breeders. Horse breeders was the name given to the men of substance among the Chalcidians. They fettered as many of these as they took alive, and kept them imprisoned with the captive Boeotians. In time, however, they set them free, each for an assessed ransom of 2 minae. The fetters in which the prisoners had been bound they hung up in the Acropolis. where they could still be seen in my time hanging from walls which the Persians' fire had charred, opposite the temple which faces west. Moreover, they made a dedication of a 10th part of the ransom, and this money was used for the making of a 4-horse chariot which stands on the left hand of the entrance into the outer porch of the Acropolis, and bears this inscription: "Athens with Chalcis and Boeotia fought, bound them in chains and brought their pride to naught. Prison was grief and ransom cost them dear. 1/10 to Pallas raised this chariot here." So the Athenians grew in power and proved, not in one respect only but in all, that equality is a good thing. Evidence for this is the fact that while they were under tyrannical rulers, the Athenians were no better in war than any of their neighbours. Yet once they got rid of their tyrants, they were by far the best of all. This then shows that while they were oppressed, they were, as men working for a master, cowardly; but when they were freed, each one was eager to achieve for himself. End of Volume 2, Part 11.